Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this really cute holly leaf inspired Christmas bracelet. So this is what it looks like. It's quite a dainty Christmas bracelet. I have a video from last year of another holly leaf bracelet, so that will be linked below in my Christmas playlist if you want to check that out. And so to make one of these you're going to need some size 11 seed beads in whatever colour you want for this part here, this band of the bracelet. So you can do any colour for that. I'm doing this metallic kind of dark brown. You'll also need some 2mm red crystals and some 3mm green ones, and if you don't have those you can use red size 11 seed beads and green size 8 seed beads as well. So these are rondelles. You'll need your clasp, your choice of beading thread. I'm using £6 fire lining crystal, and you'll need a beading needle. That's everything, so let's get started. So I've threaded my needle. I've threaded about 50 inches of thread. It's really hard to kind of judge how much you're going to need because obviously I don't know how long your bracelet needs to be, and this is quite a small bracelet. It's a 6-inch bracelet, so I'm using 50 inches of thread for that, so you might need to increase that a little bit if you want your bracelet to be a bit longer than that. And the first thing you're going to do is pick up 4 of your green crystals, and you're going to slide those down onto your thread, but you're going to slide them about halfway onto your thread. So if you sort of fold your thread in half, take the very end and line it up with top of your needle to find out where around halfway down your thread is, and hold those there, and then sew up through the first one, holding it there so that it stays out halfway down your thread. So you should have quite a long tail and working thread. So right now we have this thing. You need to hold it so that your tail thread is coming out of this bead on the side, it's coming out the top, and your working thread's coming out the bottom of that bead, and then you're going to move around through this bead and this one. So you have this. Now you're going to pick up 1 green followed by 1 red followed by 2 green, like that, and you're going to go back into that one you're coming out of but on the other side, so that you have this. Now you're going to move through this next one, the first one that you just added, like that, and you're going to skip the red one and move through the next 2 green ones. So don't go through the red one but go through the next 2 green ones, and I'd go through them one at a time if I were you, because that really makes the right angles sit nice. And when you do go through them, make sure that that thread pops underneath that red bead when you pull it tight, like that. Okay, now you're going to move around through the next 3 so that you're coming out of the red bead, like that. Now you're going to pick up 3 of your red beads and go back through that one that you're coming out of on the opposite side to make a little right angle weave unit. Like that. Now I'm going to go through each one of those again, one at a time. So as we have this, now we're going to move around through 2 beads so that we're coming out of this red bead that's opposite the one that we're coming out of right now. So move around through the bottom one and this one on the side. So we're here. Now you're going to pick up 4 green beads and going back into that red one on the opposite side. So we have this. Now you're going to move through all 4 of those green beads again, one at a time. Okay, now we're going to skip the red one like we did over here. We're going to skip the red one and go straight through that next green one in the circle. Again, make sure that that thread, pull it tight, make sure that thread disappears down in that gap there. Okay, now you're going to move through one more green bead so that you're coming out of this one here on the side. And you're going to pick up 3 green beads and go back into that one that you're coming out of to create that final little unit of 4. Now you're going to go through each one of those once more, one at a time. So we have this, and that's your little holly leaf finished. So we're going to move from this bead here, we're going to move round through 2. So we're coming out this one on the side. Okay, so you should have this, and your 2 threads should be coming out of the same bead, like in the mirror image. So they're both coming out of this side bead on that last unit, and they're both coming out of the top of that bead. So just make sure you're in that position, otherwise it's going to get twisted. So they need to be coming out of that same bead on each end and both coming out of the top. Or I guess if you hold it that way, the bottom, but as long as they're coming out the same side. And then I'll show you how to add the band. So to begin the band, so you should be coming out here where we said we're going to carry on with this side because we've got our needle already attached. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my seed beads that I'm using for the band, so 2 of my brown beads, and I'm going to go back through that bead I'm coming out of on the opposite side. So they're going to split like this. You're going to go up through the first one, the one closest to the side that you're coming out of. And then push that down with your thumb, make sure it sits right on that bead. You don't want a gap here between the holly leaf and the band. So we have this. Now I'm going to pick up 6 of my band colour, and I'm going to go down through this second bead. Like that. Now I'm going to go up through this bead on the other side again, through that one at the bottom, pull that tight, and up through the first 3 of those 6 that I added. So they've kind of stacked in half anyway, but I'm just going to go up through the first 3. Like that. Pull that tight, and you should have this. So now I'm going to pick up another 6, and this time I'm going to go down through the top bead on the opposite side. Pull that down, and you need to go up through the bead that's sitting stacked directly next to the one you're coming out of. You can always pull those away if you need to see which one it is. So go up through that one, like that, and then up through the top 3 on this side that we just added. Each time make sure you pull it tight and push those down. So we have this. So you're going to do that all the way along until you get the length that you need. So when you come to measuring this, first of all you need to measure around your wrist, obviously, to work out how long you need it to be. And then I'd say take away maybe ½ an inch for the size that your clasp is going to be. Then you need to take away, you need to measure your little holly leaf, see how much that is. So it is about 2.5 centimetres or just almost an inch. So I'd say take away another inch from that length that you've measured. And that's how long your band needs to be. What you're left with is how long your band needs to be. So say I measured 7 inches around my wrist. I've taken away, let's say, ½ an inch for my clasp, and then I've taken away another inch for my holly leaf, so I'm left with 5.5 inches. That's how long my band needs to be. Then I need to divide that by 2. So is that 2 3/4? I think we're doing maths here. And so that is how long each side of your band needs to be. So like keep going until you've got to where first half of your band needs to be, and obviously keep putting it around your wrist and put the holly leaf in the middle and sort of turn it over and look and see if your band's almost reaching at the other side in the middle. But that's how I measured it. What I would say is when you get to the end of your band, don't add your clasp until you've done the other side of your band. That way you can then put it around your wrist, make sure it's going to fit, and if not, you can add some more onto each side or take some off, whatever you need to do to make it fit. So don't tie any knots until you're certain that you've got both sides the right length. But yes, so keep going on that side until you think you've got the length that you need, and then thread your needle onto this side until you think you've got the length that you need. And then I'll show you how to add your clasps. Okay, so I've gone as far as I need to go on this side, and obviously, like I said before, you need to do the same on the other side, but just for the video I'm just going to show you how to add your clasp. So you should end just like this, and then you're going to pick up 1/2 of your clasp, and just coming out of this one, just go straight down through the one next to it. Like that. Now back up through that one on the other side, back through your clasp, pulling it tight. This time I'm going to go down through 2 beads, back up through 2 on the other side, through the clasp, and you can repeat that as many times as you need to till you feel like it's really secure. And then what you need to do is tie a knot and cut off your thread. So just going to move down through the side a little way away from the clasp, and then I'm going to circle to the other side. Always go through the bead that's directly opposite the one you're coming out of, so that you're not dragging the bead downwards, and back up through the other side. At the minute I'm just circling through random beads, and then I'm going to take my needle under this thread here. So down the middle you'll have these threads that connect the 2 sides together. So I'm coming out of this bead here. I'm going to take my needle under the thread right next to it in the middle, pull that down and go through the loop twice. Pull that till it tightens, and then I'm going to move down again further through the side of the bracelet, circle through a few beads, change directions a few times, just so that when I cut the thread it's really going to be difficult for it to unravel. I'm going to tie a few more knots in the same way, and then I'll finally cut my thread. So you'll have your other side already made, you just need to add the clasp, the other half of the clasp in exactly the same way on the other side, and then tie off those threads as well, and then you're finished. Okay, so that's the finished bracelet. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it turns out really cute, nice, dainty, delicate Christmas bracelet. So like I said before, you don't have to have these crystals. You can use size 8 seed beads and size 11 seed beads, and especially if you've got silver lined green and silver lined red, that will just add more sparkle to it if you can't get hold of crystals. Or you could use just regular seed beads here, and then, you know, fancier seed bead here, like a silver lined or rainbow kind of finish, just to make it a bit sparkly. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and you were able to make one of these. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see, and like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed to see more of my videos. I'm going to link my Christmas playlist down below. I've got a lot of videos out this year and last year for loads of different Christmas things for you to make. And follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah. I'll be doing a poll sometime this week to decide what my next Christmas video will be, because I've got just a few left to get out before the big day. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.